Boston.
The snow may impact your weekend plans in the Northeast, as an Alberta clipper that raced across the upper Midwest yesterday could put 3 to 6 inches of snow down in the mountains of Pennsylvania all the way to Maine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bruce Edwards.
And I'm Cheryl Lemke. Welcome to this edition of Weather Center. Well, the old lake effect machine is still cranking out snow across Michigan this morning, but the main event is farther towards the east. And as we take a look at the latest satellite radar picture, you can see all the moisture that's streaming across the northeastern corridor. And most of this is snow. It's snowing this morning, Erie and Bradford down through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and a lot of snow covering most of the state of New York, making for some slippery conditions across the New York Thruway. And in some places, the snow has been coming down rather heavily, like around southwestern New York, around Jamestown. And now some of that moisture is coming in towards Maine this morning, and we've had reports of some light snow breaking out around Portland. But you folks in Portland could likely pick up 4 to 5 inches of snow today. And the Weather Channel's Jim Cantori has been monitoring the situation up in Maine. Good morning, Jim. What's the latest from Portland?
Well, good morning, Cheryl. On and off all morning, we've seen these little squalls that have come on through. As a matter of fact, if we look off toward my southwest now, if we can hang around long enough, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, we should actually be into this next squall coming our way. It's very, very dark off to the southwest, and I can actually see across one of the bays here, the visibility is starting to come down a little bit. So we should start getting into some of these snow squalls. But they're not doing much. They're just kind of blowing through with a little bit of light snow. And if anything, they've actually brought the temperature up a little bit. We're above freezing, but the winds are still pretty strong out of the south. So that means we have a wind chill factor here. But nothing like a couple of days ago where it was in the single digits. And as a matter of fact, you can really see that visibility come down. If we can just, I'm telling you, if we can hang for like anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes, we're going to be into this squall. There's no doubt it's coming this way. And it's really dark out here right now, as a matter of fact, where we're going to see visibilities come on down. You can just start to see the light snow coming on down as we speak now. And cue the snow, please. Here it comes. It's on its way. Anyway, we're in Portland. We are expecting some snow. We only had a trace of snow back in February. That was the third least snowiest February on record. There's only been a trace so far this month, but certainly the prospects of this snow coming on down. This is kind of interesting. It's almost like a grapple or a snow pellet, so it's convective, and you can see the squall I'm talking about coming in as we speak. So that was beautiful timing for this live shot coming through. But so far, this is all we're dealing with, are just these little snow squalls. The heaviest snow still back into western New England and in eastern New York, and that's the actual band we expect to move in through, maybe mix with a little rain. Now, there is a winter weather advisory off to my north and west, which is typically the case when you have a south wind here in Portland. Most of the snow accumulates on inland. So here's our snow squall moving on through with a little bit of a dusting. Back to you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Jim. Now, as Jim was mentioning, though, right now in Portland, some light snow, but that's just a taste of things to come as our storm system continues to approach from the west. Here's that fast-moving clipper zipping through the east, and with that, we have been seeing the snow this morning. There'll be more snow for the Great Lakes, although tapering off later this afternoon, and more accumulating snows, too, from Pittsburgh all the way up towards Caribou, Maine. Now, at least for Boston and for New York City, you'll initially start off as some snow today. No real accumulations, though, likely for the Big Apple, but there could be upwards to 2 inches of snow for Boston. Then that will eventually turn over to rain as we get some milder air coming in from off the Atlantic. So again, some changeover taking place, at least for the East Coast today. But across interior sections, snow, full-blown snow. And there could be several inches of snow in some areas like the White and the Green Mountains and across the Adirondacks, so great conditions for the ski slopes later this afternoon. In the southeast, though, we'll be hard-pressed to see any precipitation thanks to a big dome of high pressure. Delightful weather for some outdoor plans, maybe some boating around Lake Lanier this afternoon around Atlanta, and some fine weather, too, for some golf and tennis down in Florida. From Orlando, Daytona Beach, on into West Palm Beach, and Miami, no complaints. The clockwise flow of winds around the high pressure, though, pulling up moisture from the Gulf. And all that moisture now is making a beeline over towards Texas and Louisiana. There's been some showers flaring up this morning. So as you're heading off to the shopping malls around Houston, definitely grab the umbrellas. Bruce?
Thanks very much, Cheryl. Well, the South is enjoying warmer temperatures this morning, but it comes, unfortunately, too late for peach farmers in the state of Georgia. Some say yesterday's cold weather administered the final blow to their crop. Meanwhile, the damage assessments will continue this weekend. We take a look, though, at yesterday's high temperatures and see how they fared with normal. Now, it was still below normal over a good chunk of the east, but not as bad as it's been. So you can see the air mass modifying, generally looking at about 10 to 15 degrees below normal as far as high temperatures. And here's a look at the numbers. And again, I guess it's what you're used to now. We had 2 days of very frigid air across the east. So, I mean, this 52 in Atlanta felt awfully nice, that's for sure, as did the 73 in Miami. Still below normal, but better. Now, average low temperatures for this time of year, in case you were curious, should be in the 20s and 30s in southern New England, in the Ohio Valley 30s, 40s down towards the Gulf Coast, 60s down into South Florida. Well, the actual lows this morning were down into 56 in Miami, 37 in Atlanta, fairly close to normal, as you'll note. A little bit below in a few spots in Florida under the area of high pressure, and in the upper Midwest behind a new front dropping in, but still not as bad as it's been. We're going to see some colder air wrapping on behind this system. High pressure is going to keep it very nice and closer to normal today. Here's a look at the current temperatures, and again, it's a whole lot better than what we've seen. Remember, we were looking at teens and 20s just a short time ago. Still chilly in Jacksonville at 38, 50 in Orlando, 49 in Tampa. Wind chills don't really come into play here. It's not that